Welcome to Financial Independence Retire Early South Africa. My name is Bird, and this is the 10th episode. I'm so freaking happy that I finally shot 10 episodes. Yeah. Financial Independence Retire Early South Africa. So today's episode 10, I'm going to tell you about what I consider my best financial decision of 2020, right? How a 250 Rand a month contribution into a Stockvel returned 11,000 Rands for me in value, right? So I saved 250 Rands a month for 12 months, but I was able to extract 11,000 Rands worth of value from that Stockvel. So yeah, I mean, if you don't know what a Stockvel is, it's basically what group economics, crowdfunding, but I think basically like a group saving scheme. I don't know if there's any other word for it in English or in your local language, but yeah, Stockvel just means a group saving scheme. So I joined this group saving scheme with this friend of mine from university, from college, Tavi. So thank you so much, man. It was his idea. He practically forced me to join it, and I'm so glad I did. And anybody that knows me knows I preach a lot about like group economics, collaborative competition, working together, right? And just confirmed, affirmed, and just like proved to me over and over again, yeah, how the importance of working together is. Just the importance of, the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And yeah, it's working together with Chaviso and the other people in the group has just like been a lifesaver. It has helped me, look, let me just tell you all about it, right? So basically, this started in July 2020, so right smack in the middle of the coronavirus lockdown. As you can imagine, it's been locked down since March. I had made no income, uh, probably for those 3 months, right? March, April, May, June, 4 months. So there were a good 3, 4 months where I made zero income, like no income whatsoever. I was living off of my emergency fund, right? And one time so called me about the Stockvel. I'm thinking like, bro, I'm already living off of my emergency fund. Like I'm already dipping into my savings. What do you mean I should save some more? But just because of my love and trust for Tabi, so and he had just gotten a new job also, so I figured it might just help him also be more consistent in his saving. And I talk about accountability partners, so I figured it'll work for him. Maybe little did I know that it's gonna work out for me. So there's four of us, right? The rules are here are the basic rules. We deposit multiples of 250 rands a month, meaning anything from 250 rands, 500, 750, or 1000. So you're allowed multiples of 250 rand per month as the minimum saving, right? So everybody minimum saves 250 rand, maximum 1000, 2000 if you want to, right? So I'm self-employed and I wasn't making any money, so 250 rand was basically the bare minimum that I could apply. But the good thing about our Stockvel is, or our group savings club, group savings scheme, right? The beautiful thing was you could at any moment request money which is equal to 100% of your savings. So if you have 250 rand in savings, at any moment you can request 500 rand. If you have 1,000 rand in savings, at any moment you can request 2,000 rands. But obviously, the time frame is we give the money to you at the end of the month, and then you pay it back after 30 days at the end of the following month, right? With a 10% return. So you're allowed to borrow 100% return on your savings. So if you've saved 250 rand, you're allowed 500 rands. But that 500 rand you must return at the end of the month with a 10% return. And that 10% is compounded monthly. So if you only return 200 this month, it means now you owe us, right? 550 minus 300 would be 250. Now 250 10%, that's 225. So now you owe us 275. So basically it compounds monthly, right? So if you don't pay the full amount that you owe at the end of the next month, you're going to pay it with another 10% vig on it. So that was the rule. And then the Stockvel or the scheme works on a 12-month cycle. So we started in July 2020 and it's going to end in July 2021. Every month you deposit 250 rands minimum, 2,000 rand maximum in multiples of 250, and you're allowed 100% of how much you've saved. So if you've saved 500, you're allowed 1,000 rands, and you return it with a 10% return, and that return compounds monthly. So those are our basic rules. I hope they're clear enough, right? 250 rand minimum, multiples of 250 rand. You're allowed to withdraw double your saving, and you need to return it with a 10% VIC that compounds monthly. Those are the basic rules. There's 4 of us, and we save 250 Rand monthly. First month, I'm like, yo, here's 500 Rands. I want 1,000 at the end of the month. Like, that was me. I'm like, yo, that's another thing that made me like join this group. I was like, yo, Tabs, yeah, exactly. If that's how it works, because I wasn't willing to wait 12 months to get my money back, right? So we're just saving for saving's sake. I wasn't willing to do that because I was really, really not so liquid. I needed cash. Coronavirus was up my butt and I wasn't making any money. So I'm like, okay, if I'm able to get 1,000 Rands at the end of the month, just like that, just by giving them 500, I'll be able to get 1,000. I was like, perfect. So 500 Rand first month, yo, I need me 1,000 Rands. And then, yeah, I got me 1,000 Rands at the end of the second month. But because you pay 250 every month, I received it as 750. All right, smart bird. So basically, I made the Stockvel pay for itself, right? But I received that 750 Rand a month. I remember what I did with it. I think I bought like paints, because I paint. I'm a painter. Somebody wanted me to like paint their shoes for them. So I didn't have all the colors that I needed. That was another thing. I'm like, yo, this can help me unlock this value that's trapped because because I wasn't so liquid, I wasn't so comfortable buying the paints because, with just one job, I would be sitting here with paints and the paints didn't necessarily pay for themselves. But if I'm liquid, then I can get the paints, get the one job and then the paint will be sitting for other jobs. But at least, I didn't necessarily spend all the money that I have on buying paints. You know what I'm saying? So it was such a blessing in disguise. I was able to buy paints. I was able to fulfill the job. And the job was very time specific because it's a birthday present, right? So if I wasn't able to fulfill the job, the money was going to come. The money was going to miss me because, I can't do the job because I don't have the paint. So the guy, I painted his shoes for him. I sent them to him. Lucky enough, I got another gig off of that. So I was able to get 2 painting jobs that paid me about 600 Rand return on those 2 painting jobs. And I still had my paint, right? So I borrowed 700 Rand, used about 500 to buy paints, got 2 gigs worth 600 Rand. And then at the end of the month, I pay them back their 1,100, which I returned as 1,350 again every month. You have to pay 250 savings. So first month I gave them 500 and I asked for 1,000 Rand at the end of the month. So second month they gave me that 1,000 Rands as 750 because I was paying for the second month, right? And then third month I paid them back 1,350. That's the 1,100 from the 1,000 Rand that I borrowed and the 250 for the third month's savings. Fourth month, another 250. Fifth month, now I'm like, yo, can I get 2,000 Rands? Because now my savings had totaled to 1,000 Rands, right? 4 months of saving, 500, 250, 250. I'm like, yo, can I get me 1,000 Rands now? So fifth month, they give me 1,000 Rands. 2,000 Rands rather. Fifth month, they give me 2,000 Rands because I'd saved 1,000 Rands. So now I'm 2,000 Rands, right? And again, they give it to me as 1,750, right? 1,700, again, it pays for itself. And so I used the 1,750. I just bought some stock. My core business is thrift clothing, selling thrift clothing. So I bought some clothes so I can resell because the economy was slowly opening up, right? So I was just like, I need to make some money because now at least there's some students coming back around campus because that's my core market. I'm a full-time student, so my core market are students too. Lockdown had sent us home, so. Excuse me, the money was, the school was reopening up slowly. So there were a few people around the campus and I figured, let me just try, and make the most out of it. But I also bought a cell phone. That's also very important. I used that 1,750 to buy a cell phone and some thrift clothing because the phone I'm using right now, right? Because everybody was home, I needed to be like have an active social media presence. So I used that phone, I topped it off with a little bit of my savings. And by now, I think my savings were almost done. Like my emergency fund was almost completely depleted. This is like 6 months into lockdown, 6 months into making no money. Like I'm broke. I have no more money. So I figured I need to buy this phone, so I can increase my social media presence in order to reach clients in other places just because, students aren't around. So I bought a phone, bought a little stock. And then, I hustled, man. I hustled for 2 full months. I didn't pay them back the cash at the end of that month immediately. I hustled for a good 2 full months, selling, reselling, reinvesting into the business, using the phone as hard as I can just to make the cash. And I was able to pay them back 2,320. That's the 2,000 Rand that I borrowed with 320. Now, the 10% again, it accrues, right? It compounds. So the 2,000 I paid it back as 2,020 after 2 months of hard work, active social media presence, trying to sell everything that I can have my hands on. But the grace of God and the ancestors, I made the money back and I paid them back, right? I paid them back in month 7, right? Because it took me 2 months. Month 8 came and went. I gave them another 250. month 9 came, and I was like, yo, I've saved about 2,000 rands. Now I want 4,000. And that's literally how I've been using the Stockvel so far. That's what I mean. I was able to extract 11,000 rands worth of value this way. But let me continue. So this time around, I asked for 4,000 rands, right? And this 4,000 rands, I did the same thing that I did the other time. I just bought some stock. I made some small investments, and I paid rent this time around because like I said, emergency fund is done by this time. So I just used it to pay some rent, bought some stock, made a little small investment, and I'm working my ass off to pay it back. So this is the second month now, and I'm planning to pay it all back, and I'll be paying back a total of 4,640, because again, it compounds if you don't pay it immediately with the 10%. The 10% compounds. So I paid. I'm gonna work hard by the end of the month to pay them back 4,640, and but the way things are looking, I think I'll be able to pay them back, and then that makes it month 11, right? And then come July or come end of June, we will be reaching month 12, and the cycle will be done. Now, in these 12-month cycle, my saving of 250 rands a month are giving me back 3,250. So the 3,250 plus the 7,000 rands that I've been able to borrow all give me a total of 11,000 rands, and that's why I've got this number. Right, so let me give you a specific breakdown of what I mean when I say I was able to extract 11,000 rands out of value from 250 rand a month. I explained to you that 250 rand every month, and you're allowed to borrow double. So I've borrowed 7,000 rands. That's how much I've borrowed in the past 12 months. I've borrowed 7,000 rands. That's 1,000 rand by the second month, 2,000 rand in the fourth month, and 4,000 rand in month 9. So all of that's 7,000 rands, right? And in that 7,000 rands, I paid back 1,020 in return, right? Because sometimes I'll take 2 months to pay. That means I paid back 1,020 rand in return. But all of that money that we pay in return is now divided amongst the group, right? So they were also able to borrow money throughout the 12-month term, and they were also able to pay back their money with the return. Now we take everybody's collected return, and we divide it amongst the group, right? So even that 1,020 rand, I received 25% of it because I'm a 25% member of the group. That means that I eventually only, if we're gonna go down to basic rands and cents, it means I paid back 795 rand off my 7,000 rand borrow. So, right? So in 12 months, I borrowed 7,000 rands, and I effectively paid back 795 because 25% of that payback comes back to me. And even in that 795, because of the other members' borrow, I eventually actually only paid back 200 rands. 200 rands. That means from 7,000 rand, I returned only 200. That's a 1.7% VIG. You can't get that anywhere. I actually went to the bank, like, when lockdown was about. I'm like, yo, guys, like, yo, come on. And they're like, no, we don't give any money to students. We don't give any money to self-employed people. So this became effectively my bank. I was able to borrow 7,000 rand over 12 months and only pay back 200. That's 1.7%. You can't get that anywhere. This has been like the best financial decision of 2020 so far. It literally saved me from lockdown. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I went 5-6 months making no money at all. I eventually exhausted my emergency fund. I was living hand to mouth. Man, I would have nothing to take to my mouth if it wasn't for the Stockvel, right? Hand to mouth is at that level, at that point, was a blessing, right? At least I had something to take to my mouth. Like, oh my God, like, this. So again, the Stockvel, this group saving scheme has just been a lifesaver. It has really, really, again, taught me the importance of working together as a group. It has mostly also taught me the importance of trust. There's a guy who I follow on social media, Silebo Omolefe. He loves to say that business moves in the speed of trust. Business moves in the speed of trust, and he is so right. This this group saving scheme wouldn't have been able to be so successful if we didn't trust each other and we didn't also fulfill the other end of the trust, right? Because if somebody trusts you, you also have to be honest. You have to be a person of your word. So I was honest, I was a person of my word with them, and they were honest, and they were people of their word with me. 3 males, me, Tabiso, this other guy, and 1 girl. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but the patriarchy, right? So it was three girls and 1 guy, and we were able also, if we do the math, collectively, we were able to save 25 25,000 rands. 25,000 rands. Okay, they should probably just invest in me and create and give me a job too, because they're employed and I'm not, right? But that's the power of just like 4 people saving a minimum of 250 rand a month, maximum of 2,000. We save 25,000 rands between the 4 of us. That's, financial independence, retire early in practice. This is one of the ways that people can, speed up their journey to financial independence so they can retire early, by using the strength of numbers. As little as 250 rands, guys, I was able to extract 11,000 rands worth of value. That's unheard of. If I save 250 rand, I can only save up to 3,000 rands per month, right? And that's a 300% increase on my savings. I was able to extract a 300% increase on my savings. So I can't emphasize this enough. You need to learn to trust each other. We need to learn to work with each other. We need to learn to work hard, be people of our word. And we need to learn to use group economics, spiderweb economics, collective collaboration, collectivism. We need to start working together to reach our financial and other personal goals. I'm trying to imagine if there's anything that I left out. But yeah, man. Also, this 25,000 rand, I want to say it proves to me the strength of foreign local investment versus foreign direct investment. When you study countries like China became what they are over 30 years with some foreign direct investment, but very little. A lot of China was built because the savings rate of the average citizen, as poor as they were 40 years ago, the savings rate of the average citizen was 50%. 50%. So it means 50% of almost every person saved 50% of their income. That's what I'm trying to say. Almost every citizen was able or forced himself or sacrificed, worked hard, bit the bullet, bit the dust, put their head down and did the work and was able to save 50% of their income, right? And that in itself, the country was able to use their savings, their own local investments to build them up to what they are. So I believe that, South Africa, we can use our savings. We can use the little pennies and cents that we have, save them, work together, and we can build, our continent to be what it wants to be, or what we want it to be, what we know it can be, what we need it to be, So it's one thing to be begging, or to be asking for foreign direct investment from, foreigners, excuse the phrase. But basically, I think, even here on the continent by ourselves, we can use all of these saving schemes, we can use all of these Stockvels to build up our economy, just like China did, just like, other countries did. So yeah, please do not underestimate the power of working together. Do not underestimate the power of accountability partners. Tabs would call me every month end, yo, don't forget, in an hour we have our meeting. How much are you contributing? Do you have a loan request? So his leadership has really helped me. I'm glad, like I said, that I eventually agreed to join the group, and it has saved my life for the past 12 months. This is the biggest return I've had in any investment. 300% return in 12 months. This is crazy. So join your Stockvel, get into a collective group saving scheme or a collective group investment scheme, and that will help you reach financial independence, and you can retire early if you want. My name is Bird. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. They go a long way. All of my community details, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that is in the description below. And I'd like to hear your comments and your strategies. This for me was a very important strategy to reach financial independence. I'm continuing with it. Our 12-month cycle is going to be done, but I'm going to continue with this. Like I said, it has saved me enough times. I'll be an idiot not to continue with it. And I can't wait to hear about your stories joining group saving schemes. Stockvel of it. Like, and South Africa. Thank you for watching.